Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to take a little break from our traditional origami and share another fun project from another designer. And this is actually a designer we did before, David Wires, who shared with us his beautiful hummingbird design. And the origami today is kind of sort of an adaptation of the cootie catcher or the a fortune teller that I showed you guys a little while back. That's a traditional form. And then he kind of, did some things to it to kind of adapt it to make it into this really cool, like, wind catcher. And he kind of calls his arrangement equilibrium. And I'm just going to show you guys how to kind of do things. The beginning steps are exactly the same as making a cootie catcher or a fortune teller, so you'll be familiar with those. For this particular project, you do need just one piece of origami paper, and we want to have, I'm going to be using 15 by 15 centimeter, but of course you can use any size paper that you like as long as it's square. And I'll let you guys know the dimensions when we're done. They're going to be about, the same as what we've done before. But so we're going to go ahead and start with our paper here with our color side facing down. I want to just start by putting some preliminary creases in my paper by folding it half diagonally. So go ahead and line up those opposite points, come down right into the middle there, and then smooth things out. And do the same thing going this way too. Open it up. We're going to take each of these four sides and fold them into the center. Now this particular design and arrangement really benefits from using thicker paper. My origami paper is really too thin for it, and it would look so much prettier if I used some thicker, really strong, sturdy paper that you can find. Foil paper would work really good. Washi paper would look beautiful. So many choices of things you could use for this, really. And it's not like the origami paper doesn't work, but that other paper would be much better. So we've got all four sides of those folded into the center. I'm going to flip everything over, and we're just going to fold into the center again. And the more exact and sharp your creases are, everything's going to really kind of come together a little better if you do it that way. So take your time to make sure you get really good creases. So we've gotten all that folded into the center there. Now I'm just going to take and fold everything in half so I can find where my center is here, and just try to line up your edges as nice as you can and get a good crease there without hurting the flaps that you've got there. And then I'm also just go the other way too, so I can get a nice crisscross here in the middle. And that's going to be key, getting that set so that we know where everything is. So once you've got all of that, essentially what we want to do is I'm going to actually kind of poof that, rather than like poofing it out like we do when we make a fortune teller, for example. I'm going to reverse it. You're going to make it go in. And if you start it and you put a little pinch here in the middle, and you put a little pinch on the other side, you can get it kind of going the way that we want it to, where it's creating this peak in the bottom. And what we want to do is take each of these sections and we're going to kind of shift them to the left. So I can take, for example, this one right here, this top left corner, and you can kind of separate the layer of paper that's down here just a little too, bring it out, and give yourself a little pinch down here on the side to kind of get it going so that it really gets pulled over and gets separated from the side there a little bit. And then I want to just kind of do the same step for all of these, and you're just kind of rotating around, and I've got this one here, and you just want to, sometimes these might get overlapped weird and might get stuck underneath themselves. Just try to get that popped out a little there so that you can get that top part separated and pull it out. And this is where, if you're using thicker paper, it sculpts better and it'll stay sticking out nicer for you as you do this step. To create more of the sculpted work like what he has on, and I'll share you guys his Flickr account so you can see the pictures. He always takes such pretty pictures of his stuff too. So, but we're just kind of pinching around, getting that part kind of popped out so that we can get everything kind of overlapping on itself a little bit. And you should be able to get, with a little bit of help there on all 4 of those sides, you should be able to get all of these so that you kind of get them to overlap enough so you kind of get this square base in the middle. That's kind of the goal, to try to get a little bit of a square or rectangular section there in the center. And you get this really nice kind of 3-dimensional sort of top-looking feel to everything when you're done. And like I said, this definitely looks so cool when you use really nice thick paper. It looks just beautiful. So this is essentially the finished deal here. And then what you can do is, you probably obviously want to use something a little prettier than this pencil, but you can go ahead and stick it in here at into the tip, and it'll hold up on itself there and balance fairly well. And then if you get a little bit of wind going, it turns around like a nice little wind catcher and catches the wind in the pockets that you created by popping out those sides. So you can kind of create your very own really pretty little wind catcher that you can place at the dinner table, for example, or something. This Valentine's Day, you could put it as a table setting, make really pretty colors, paper. Use red so it kind of feels more like Valentine's Day kind of theme if you're looking for that. Like I said, using foil paper, golds, really rich thick paper makes it so pretty. So that's the finished little wind catcher or equilibrium, and I'll let you guys know the dimensions here. Of course, depending on how you've poofed everything out, it's going to be, you know, a little fatter or a little smaller in some cases, but generally it's about, you know, it's about 7.5 centimeters square, which, you know, is about what it should be. But, and if you're looking to know here about how deep it is, depends again a little on how much you poofed everything out. Here, let me try to, about 5 centimeters deep. And that should give you an idea. You could easily make this bigger and create some really beautiful sort of arrangements of all of these, and with the right kind of, you could wrap pencils in tape, decorative tape, to kind of make a nice stand for these kinds of things. You don't want to use anything too super sharp, because, you know, I'd worry after a long time that it might begin to kind of cause a little puncture hole in the middle. But that should kind of give you your finished equilibrium or wind catcher by David Wires. Again, check out on the comments section for links to his Flickr account so you can check out all of his designs. He's always thinking of such creative things to do to make really beautiful forms. So please check those out, and thank you guys again so much for watching. Bye!